Hello, hello, hello. Welcome everyone to FPL Jedi Show episode 33 season review. This is not it's slightly different. Usually we came to our midweek stream looking at how is our game week so far and then plan ahead, but this is the finale. Azman, how are you, brother?
Sorry, was on mute. Alhamdulillah, quite good. Thank you. Nice to be back again for one last show as we close off the season. Of course, I guess maybe let's talk about the league quickly. And as a Liverpool fan, I guess we just missed the league, but it was always going to be tough knowing how Manchester City, the ability to come back, and that West Ham game gave us a bit of hope. And even Villa in the game week 38, they scored 2-0, went 2-0 up, but even at halftime I wasn't getting all excited because I knew the having seen this before, Manchester City's ability to come back from and rally in the second half, and it certainly happened, didn't it? And I think it was in the space of 8 minutes or something that they scored, and then Gundogan scored a brace, and it was disappointing, but I wasn't. It wasn't. I didn't get my hopes up at this. At the start, even after they went 2-0 down, but so
Yeah.
I wasn't too disappointed in the end.
Okay. We'll touch on that later. Okay, definitely. Okay, how's the final day of the season turned out to be? Okay, we touch a bit, and then we definitely going to have a look, or we call it what? Reflection on our team performance,
Yes.
our performance for the season. Has been a long journey, man. Definitely
Yep.
from I think last that we actually started somewhere in August, and now it's already May. It's like 8 9 months from that time. Time flies so fast. We are at the end of the season, so I never knew this. This the time definitely comes now, and we have a look at the final stream for this season. Definitely, mean.
Yep. Then a few weeks break.
Yep. So what we're gonna do? Okay, we run through for the last time our team review what we scored in game week 38. Okay, and what is our final ranking? But to be fair, our final ranking is as shown under within our name, and also this Twitter FPL, and then we can see later. And then who's the top players, the players of the season by position. We actually put a snapshot, and then we can see at least something that we can take away something for next season, maybe. Okay, and then we also mention on the team of the season. Definitely, Azmi also we have his say. Who's definitely should be in the team for the season, and also maybe you could actually pick later. Who do you think should be awarded player of the season, regardless the price or even the performance for the season? Okay, and then definitely we're gonna reflect on our performance later. What's the highlight or even the low key of our knee, and then we can share what we can do better, maybe something that we learn this year that we can actually reflect for next year performance. Okay, man, why not you run through your team? Or maybe because we do not actually have our deadline stream, so we do not share the last what our thoughts, so maybe this is the opportunity to do that.
Yep. So we weren't able to. So we missed out because we were not able to do the Sunday morning stream before the last round of games. So what happened was that I made two transfers. I kept my trio of Chelsea players. I
Okay.
and I brought in Gallagher and
With me?
Tony. Yeah.
All
So
right. Okay. You
so
back in
as you
Tony. Same like me.
yeah,
Okay.
so as you can see, both transfers didn't work out. I was hoping, I was looking for a Brentford Leeds. Oh, sorry, it wasn't Gallagher and Tony. It was Rafinha and Tony. I'm sorry,
Oh,
Gallagher. I
Rafinha.
did.
So you definitely at least have one the right player to come in for the last day.
Yeah, but I was hoping that Brentford Leeds would turn out to be. I was expecting Brentford Leeds would turn out to be a goal fest, which is why I went from one player, the player most I thought most likely to score on one side, and the player I thought most likely to score another. Rafinha did actually score a penalty, but Tony disappointed. Um, and I had Chelsea as well. I had this decision to make whether to bench Gallagher or Nketiah. I decided to go with Gallagher, which was a mistake. I guess I underestimated that Arsenal Everton. Uh, I underestimated Everton over celebrating a few days ago, celebrating the
Yeah.
survival, and they just got trashed by Arsenal. So yeah, so Nketiah should have been in the starting lineup.
So
I
in the
guess
end, you actually went without any Spurs player who actually among the top transfer for the last week, and you kept them out, man.
yes. So yeah, Mount was once again really frustrating. The amount of chances he had and just didn't score. Havertz scored, but and James, yeah, James did return. Um, but overall, it was another disappointing week to top off a whole. I think it was quite a streak of disappointments. Um, I guess, yeah. I mean, I felt so surprised and happy that all my players started. Yeah,
Okay.
at first, so it was a good start, but in the end, not that many returns. I don't have any except for Vardy was my only double digit return, which is good. Can't complain there. With Vardy, who I picked him up the week before. I got annoyed that I put Cash as my third sub, and of course he scores against Manchester City. So another mistake there.
I don't
Cancel.
think it's a mistake. We expect Aston Villa to be keeping no clean sheet or maybe trash during the game, but Cash it actually scored the first goal for
Yeah,
Aston Villa.
except do you know who I sold to buy Rafinha and Tony? It was
Um,
Coutinho, who also scored, and Timu Puki, I believe it was. Yeah.
okay, okay, fair. Those are
Mm.
the players that we actually perform on the last day. We never thought of that. Okay, but
Yeah. I guess the big mistake was uh, thinking that Spurs wouldn't return that much, or rather thinking the players I brought in would return just as much as Spurs players. So that didn't turn
yeah,
out to be the case.
it's okay. It's okay. So in the end, your overall point is actually 2389, and then your over rank of 339,000. I don't know how you feel, Min. Maybe you actually have some target early of the season. What your end of season overall rank that you target? Maybe you can share.
Okay, frankly speaking, I was aiming for top 100K. If you remember, halfway to halfway even at what game week 28, we can take a look at that. I had already
Okay.
gone
Yep.
under
Yep.
under top 100K. I was there for
Yes.
two
Yes.
weeks, and after that, the season just started unraveling. Week after week was red arrow after red arrow, so it was really disappointing in the end. But funnily enough, it just goes to show how bad I've been. Even this was actually an improvement over my last season. Because last
Okay.
season was even worse. I finished at 400,
Okay.
400 plus. Yeah,
Okay.
because
All right.
uh, but it was because the season before I had finished at 76K, the
Okay.
2019-2020 season, and then followed by a huge bad one, so, of 470K last season. So this is actually an improvement over the last season, but still, I mean, I'm not gonna deny that it is a major disappointment after I was I had
Okay.
after I had broken into the top 100 in game week 27 or 28 it was. Yeah, so it is a disappointment.
Okay, but I quickly have a look. Yep, you end up last year improvement at least from 470k to ni. But if let's say you target 100k, then I think that's something that we can push for next season. Same with me. Maybe my target is slightly higher than you. I want to
Mm.
finish at least in the 50k rank. I've done that before, but it's becoming tougher. And later I share the last my last ranking and what we could focus next season. Later we share on the reflection. So overall, okay, man. It is what it is. 339k. Hope for the best for next year.
Yep. Let's look at
As
yours.
Yep. As for my team, we end up the same point, man. When actually
That's
I snapshot the point, I was thinking, I got it wrong or what? We actually end up the same point and taking -4. The
yes.
different, the same thing. Also, I bring in Tony. Okay. And what I decided is actually I got Salah, who I'm not sure whether will start. So in the end, after a long thought and after there's no really any news of whether Salah will start, so that I decided to go to the obvious one. I'll downgrade Salah to Son and the extra money to get rid finally Broja to I was thinking Tony, who actually been hyped before this game. Like as from Football Scout also mentioned, this could be a big differential and Leeds are gonna attack at the end of the day. They will try every single thing to make sure their survival, and Brentford should score high amount of goals, something like that. But in the end, later we share, Brentford has been disappointing. I also have some sentimental value for Tony. Another reason I bring in Tony back into my squad is because I had Tony from game when my game week 1 team. So I was thinking like, why not I end the season with the striker I had on game week 1, but as you know, he only deliver 1 point. All this what I really want to be different. Before game week 38, I'm somewhere outside 200k. I decided I want to gamble and try. Maybe I could push a little higher, maybe 150k and so on. I decided to captain KDB, not to in terms of uh, points. He only produced an assist, and Son actually grabbed the 2 goals and the golden boot. So that's how I end my season with 2419 and ranking at 260k, a bit better than you, but overall I still feel I don't know what to say. I keep my standard a bit higher. 260k. I don't know. Maybe the same feeling as yours that I can
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, I
Okay.
guess so. There are quite things that we thought were obvious, turned out not to be the case. You did that spectacular one of captaining KDB. A couple weeks
Give it
back.
36. Yep.
Yeah, two weeks back. But yeah, but yeah, I mean, overall, I think definitely we could have done better, and in terms of analyzing and looking at the matchups.
But I'll take it in the chin, and hopefully next year we'll target better, slightly inside 100k or even 50k. If other managers can do it, we can do it, man. Definitely.
That's
Okay.
true. Yep, definitely.
Yep. So we skip this one. Azmi prepared a bit of uh graphical eh, on season performance. Okay. In
Yep.
terms of our performance from game week what to 38. What you can
Okay.
say here, man?
Well, firstly, in terms of performance, you can clearly see that my my ranking is a lot more volatile and much more bouncing up and down than Demon Fire FC's. So Demon Fire FC is definitely a fairly bit more consistent. So at one point, at the start, Demon Fire was pretty much uh, ahead, yeah, and then I started catching up around game week 9, and even intersected and overtook you at game week 15, and then we
Yep,
sort
yep.
of we sort of like hung around each other for a while, and there, if you see because the graph doesn't really see because
Yep.
it's past 200,000, but at that 27, 28 week, that's when we actually went under top 100k. Yeah, so yeah, but you can see for my side, after that it was just a drop, drop, and drop. And even to the 350k. Whereas for your side, you did recover a bit more than me, and and towards the end, you actually performed better. Right? I think I only had one green arrow after game week 28, so it was pretty much a slippery, very slippery slope. And
Okay.
part of it, because I remember in game week 30, I did the free hit for the game week 30, and then followed by, and then game week 31 decided not to use the wild card, to
Okay.
wait until game week
Yep.
30,
34, right?
34. Yeah,
Yep.
34. So the end bench boost in 36, and all those moves didn't quite work for me, and I didn't get the results I wanted. I think on your side, you wildcarded in game week 27, was it?
I actually wildcarded in game week 31, and to be fair,
That's right. Sorry.
it also doesn't turn out
Mm,
good for me, because I bring in some Chelsea player and Chelsea does not perform, and then I bring in the likes of Salah and TAA back into my squad, but I don't have Son. Son actually kills me.
yeah,
I think
me
the
too.
first player that actually kills us, especially Son, who I do not have most of the period
So
between.
so so
Yep.
so in short, Spurs players killed us because we didn't have enough of them, whereas Chelsea players killed us because we had them. So 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 that, I mean, that was that, I felt that was pretty much the story of the last third of the season. From 29 onwards.
Mm.
Because I think on game week 30 I did bring in Sun, but that was on a free hit, and then 31 I didn't have him again.
Yep. Yep.
And so yeah, so I think that was it. That was the difference.
Yeah, I mean, we can see there game week 8, where is actually your lowest point. You somewhere in 1 million, and then you bounce back. I think
Yeah.
that's if you can remember what you did at that point that changed it. I think maybe you move money to Salah or something like that, right?
Yeah. So first thing I did was, that whole drop was, the fact that at the time I wasn't sure whether Salah would, be consistent enough, and I thought Mane would at least match Salah, and that wasn't the case. So it was a drop after drop after drop, and then game week 8 was my lowest drop, and then decided to bring back Salah, and then which made a jump, and then I think we captained. That was that controversial week of people captaining Salah against Manchester United, or captaining Havertz against
Yep.
Norwich, and where
Yep. Yep.
Havertz managed to spectacularly avoid any points whatsoever, whereas Salah hat tricked against Manchester
That
United.
that's a crucial point also among the season itself, because definitely that I don't know how much the points there is. It easily 18, 19 points, hat trick, bonus point, and so on.
Yeah,
And then
yeah, 40 points, I think. Yeah,
yeah, and then you captain him instead of Harvard, who does not involve anything, and actually Mount, who performed that week, if I still can recall that
no, yeah.
that
Mount,
time.
Mount, Mount was the one who scored the hat trick, and together
Mm.
with Salah, and it was it was very frustrating because Havertz was the one that people were, hyping, and everyone was like jumping into.
Okay. Yep.
So
To be fair, also some managers touch on this season is a bit unique or special, because COVID is still around and affecting our performance. We
yeah,
have to balance out in terms of, I think there is actually 13 double game week all together of the season. Is a big numbers, and slightly some small double game week, one game and so on, or even the big double game week, especially in, if I'm not mistaken, 26 and also 36, some of the big double game week. Okay,
yeah,
but we experience of captaining the double game week players, the single game week players, so we go through that experience, and definitely something that we learn,
yeah,
hopefully for next season, how we should go about it. Although if let's say next season COVID is not around, it will be more solid, it's more consistent, then we will definitely go back to the normal road of how we playing our chips.
So one thing coming out of because the we had so many double game weeks this season, and one glaring fact was that when it comes to double weeks, especially when there's only one or two matches that are double gamers, and if those double gamers are not not the not premium
Okay.
players
Yep.
squads, premium players in big squads, then
Some player that I can mention like Watford players, King or Dennis or even
yeah, that was fun.
uh, what's the other guy? I forgot the name. I think King and Dennis is the option at that point. Then come in the likes of like White Horse. Okay,
Yes.
that
So
what I
by
think.
far,
Yep.
most of it, or most of this half after the COVID bit, there all these double game cheaper players just didn't perform compared to the single City, single Liverpool players. So it was, but of course we tried. We were looking like uh people like King and Dennis were like Messi and Ronaldo. For some reason, we were expecting that, but of course that didn't happen. And just when you thought, because they had been doing decently before, but and suddenly it just spectacularly dropped and it became a farce in a way. Um, but
Yep.
we had a lot of old favorites, and more consistent
Yep.
people. Salah, of course, is one of them. KDB after he returned, because if you remember at the start of the season, he was really feeling the effects of the off season, and he only really started performing coming late in. Then there will be a worries that he will be playing at the further back row, but towards the
Okay.
end of the season, we saw him spectacular, one spectacular show after another, and returning to the uh, player that he used to be, and
Yep.
you can't deny that he helped City retain the league title.
Okay. So I mean, just quickly we go through some match that decides what at the final day lah, especially the league title. Okay, man. It has been a roller coaster in terms of Man City versus Villa and also Liverpool versus Wolves. I still can recall uh, for these two matches, it has been carefully attract a lot of attention from managers and even outside fans, okay, neutral fans. Wolves actually scored the first goal, eh? And I can hear because I actually watch the Man City games. Wolves scored, I think, second minute or something like that. And then it looks like maybe it's actually City Day. Then after that, Villa actually scored a goal first half and then continue second half. So and then Liverpool actually managed to get equalizer. Then I feel maybe just maybe could be the quadruple dream for Liverpool alive. Then after that, out of nowhere, with the City credibility, we know that they can easily come back. But that's how is it. He come back with 3 goals from Gundogan 2 and Rodrigo. Okay, Liverpool managed to get the win, but that comeback from Man City actually kept their performance and they win the league, man.
Yeah, I mean, Gundogan suddenly sparking to life. I guess it didn't really hurt us in terms of FPL wise. But even but in terms of the excitement, it was quite an interesting end of season. And then when
Yep,
you
yep,
also consider the battle for that last relegation spot as well, so it made for a more interesting end to the season than I originally thought it was going to be. Um, on the Liverpool side, as we know that they were trying to juggle the players, and and
yep.
and in view of the fact that Liverpool still has the Champions League to come. Yeah, so Salah didn't start, if you remember. Yeah, so he came
But he
in
did
as a
manage a
sub,
goal.
but he
That
still
he still
managed to
managed a
score. I
goal.
mean,
Yep.
I mean, I mean, as a Liverpool fan, I'm glad he got that goal because it will, as preparation for that Real Madrid match. It's good to see him come back into form. So that was really important for
Yeah.
me. Um,
Mane continue to show that end of season he can perform. He got the goal, okay, and
yeah,
2 bonus point. So Mane is still one of the interesting player to have, especially end of season.
Yeah. So in the second half of the season, I think we clearly saw that Mane was producing better points after the African Cup of Nations. Yeah, we saw that
Yep.
Mane was just still was pretty much outperforming Salah.
I can also say that to Robertson, I think Robertson outperformed TAA for the past few weeks, definitely end of season. So whoever has Robertson instead of TAA, kudos to you. I think Robertson
Yeah,
performed, and
yeah,
also Matip, the cheap Liverpool defender.
yeah. So the Athletic covered the news portal. The Athletic covered was how Robertson um, had gotten much better at taking free kicks and corner kicks, which he shares. So it was quite interesting, and uh, considering that TAA is also the reason that we also go for TAA is the same reason because of his free kick and plus the fact they are both attacking. So it tosses up a very interesting dilemma for next season. Whereas
Yep.
in previous seasons, TAA was a shoe in. You'd have TAA and Salah at the start. Now you got Robertson to consider. He's definitely capable. So yeah, imagine if
Yep.
Robertson scores in the Champions League final this weekend, then that will be in everyone's head come the start of the next season. So it'll be interesting.
Especially if let's say the price difference between TAA and Robertson will definitely maybe say we predict TAA maybe TAA starts at 7.5 million, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
and then maybe I don't know, he got 8 or maybe 8.5, we don't know. And then Robertson's slightly lower, 1 million. Maybe will that put people into consideration whether Robertson
I don't
over
know, but
TAA? Hmm.
because I think that because Robertson they're gonna pump up Robertson's price and probably drop TA's price a bit,
Okay.
based on the performance of the second half of the season. So, but yeah, it will be a dilemma. Of course, we don't know what the fixtures are yet, But
Okay.
but then would you triple up? But of course, one thing we have to remember with Liverpool, we got a question marks hanging over Mane, Salah, and Firmino. So that
Okay.
hasn't been settled yet as to whether or not they will extend the contract because this will be after this they'll be in their last stretch,
Okay.
and whether or not they renew it, we could
Okay.
lose one or two of them.
All right, we will see on the last spot for Champions League for next season, won by Spurs by really big margin in terms of he actually trashed Norwich 5-0. We expect a big scoreline. The usual suspects, Son scored 2 goals. Kulusevski scored 2 goals. I mean, and awarded some managers of like 16 points, something like that. Kulu is something definitely we will have really look at next season if let's say we cannot afford the likes of Son or even Kane. Bentancur got 2 assists. Kane involved 1 goal and 1 assist. And Arsenal, even though they win big 5-1 against Everton, I think Spurs has performed for especially the game that matters. And Arsenal lost to Newcastle last week. So in the end, Spurs got the last spot, man,
Yeah.
for next season.
So kudos to Spurs, and of course, you can't deny the impact that Kulusevski has had in terms of stabilizing that midfield. Because you would always have Kane and Son, and then who on earth is going to support? Who's is there anyone else there who's capable of being consistent enough? And along comes Kulusevski, and there was one point a few weeks back that they benched Kulusevski. Spurs
Yep,
were doing so badly, then he came in, and then suddenly they just turned it around, and after
yep.
that, the following
He
match,
produced the 2 assists, yeah, I'm not mistaken. Yep.
so the following match, yeah, you're not going to bench him anymore, and he plays. And when you look back at that, you think that Kulusevski is also would be a contender for the best um, half season purchase.
Yep. Yep.
Purchase in January. To be fair, there's quite an interesting list of those who were brought in January that
Yep.
that could have had an impact or didn't have an impact. So you'd have uh, Luis Diaz on the Liverpool
Yes,
side,
yes,
who's
yes,
pretty
yes.
much it's pretty much between Diaz and Kulusevski for the purchase of the half season, but I would say more for to Kulusevski because I'm not sure if without Diaz would Liverpool have struggled. I feel that there's still enough quality to make up for it. Whereas Kulusevski, without them, I think Spurs would definitely not have won that UCL spot.
Yep.
Whereas for Liverpool, if you the gap between Liverpool and Chelsea at the end is still quite a distance. Yeah, so
Yep.
even I don't feel Liverpool would have dropped that many points. Having said that, never mind.
Yep.
Uh, um, I can't deny that with Luis Diaz around, it really helped um, Liverpool in terms of balancing the squad, and
Mm.
you know, and can't deny that it did help them, you know, in terms of balancing enough to end up winning the League Cup and the FA Cup. So
Yep.
and
Can I
you
say
know, and
one more point?
yeah, go ahead.
Can I say one more point or to Arsenal fans? Finishing fifth is I can still consider a good season for Arsenal, considering they actually do not have like a lot of premium players. Okay, they still play the youngsters and still manage to lock fifth place and Europa League for next season. Something to look forward.
No, I have to disagree with you there. I think it's a total disappointment on the Arsenal side, considering they were doing so well and really gunning for the Champions League. And when I look at it, I feel that the the management and Arteta has to shoulder some blame for them not reaching. How on earth did they manage to get Spurs to allow Spurs to overtake them? If you remember that memorable Arsenal against Chelsea, where Arsenal just surprised the hell out of Chelsea and put
Mm.
themselves into strong contention to secure that spot, only to fall apart at the end. Um, I mean, losing to Newcastle, 2-0. Newcastle, a team who were just out to celebrate and had really had nothing left to play for, whereas Arsenal was still gunning, and 2-0 defeat. So the problem was, I felt that, if you remember when Partey and who's the left
Tierney,
back? Tierney, yeah,
Tierney.
got injured, and then you can see that the cracks starting to appear. And the problem was, when you look back at it, is that um, whenever there's a injury especially in the defense, then Arsenal start to suffer. And another thing, you know, Lacazette is nowhere quality. So, but I think they let go of Aubameyang in January. To be fair, it was right. I felt that was the right move to remove Aubameyang, because I think it was just disrupting the squad and making it hard. But they didn't bring anyone in. They didn't bring up any replacement, which they needed to do, especially when at the time Nketiah they hadn't really made good use of Nketiah yet, but Lacazette was not doing very well either. So it's really, I mean, after giving so much hope, and in fact Spurs themselves were looking really bad at one point. Um,
Yeah, lah, because they had early season with Nuno. Okay, they did not had a good performance by him.
yeah,
Spurs and Arsenal. Why I mentioned on Arsenal also having not a disaster season, because at the early beginning they've been hit by injuries and been I think somewhere a bottom of the league or somewhere there, that because they have been losing like first 3 or 4 games and people do not give them any hope, and they still managed to finish fifth season. Although I agree with you, maybe they could have secured the Champions League if, let's say, they win the matches that matters. But considering the first game from the season where people are not putting any more hope for Arsenal and finish fifth, I think it's not so disastrous. That why I mean.
okay, well,
So,
well,
so hmm,
okay, so you want to look at the opponent. So Norwich, yeah, Norwich were just a disaster. So I don't think we deserve to talk them. Bye, Timo Pukki again. Maybe we'll see you in 2 seasons later.
if he's still there, if he's still
but
there,
but Everton, I mean, yeah, they those lucky people. Because and obviously they were distracted. Even Richarlison didn't play this one, so they,
yeah,
yeah, I mean, they were just happy to still be around in the league, and they
yeah,
got lucky. They really did. Um,
yeah.
uh,
And the last one on the relegation, because the last day is actually to decided between whether Burnley or Leeds United actually going to relegated. I don't know about you. Okay, I do not put any hope to Leeds because Burnley secured the draw during the midweek against Aston Villa, and maybe they could actually draw or just don't lose this game, and Leeds potentially could lose big against Brentford. But it's a different case. Leeds turned up. Brentford did not perform when it matters. Leeds won the game, and Burnley lost to so-called informed Newcastle team. In so, what do you think? Burnley deserve to go down?
Yeah, Burnley deserved to go down. What a bunch of, oh, my goodness. I mean, it was just bad. And to be fair, between Burnley and Leeds, Leeds is just so much more fun to watch. They played the attack even with when after they changed the managers, they continue to play that attacking football. But of course, defensively they need to improve for next season. Burnley just did. I mean, I felt the only two people who really deserve any credit is Pope and Maxwell Cornet. But even then, Cornet was injured a lot, so he didn't contribute as much. So it really is only Pope, who kept them. Otherwise they would probably have been as dead just early like Norwich.
So,
But
what will
instead,
happen to Burnley asset like Pope, like who was more interesting from Burnley? Tarkowski. Definitely, they will move away.
no, you're right. You're right. I think Tarkowski has a good chance of moving away. Pope definitely, there's a possibility. But then another half season failure purchase, which was Weghorst. No, I don't think anyone's gonna buy him. But to be fair, I think he has some quality in him, but when you don't have the same level around him, then it just makes him worse. I mean, that's how I felt. So Newcastle bounced, again. Newcastle were first they helped to kick Arsenal out of the Champions League spot, and then they proceeded to kick Burnley into the
Yep.
into
Wilson,
into the
Wilson with the two. Wilson with the two goals, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so Wilson returning, and and then it'll make next season much again. For Newcastle, we don't know how they're going to go about purchase. So
Yeah, next season could be different. Newcastle, in terms of personnel, it could be with the money they have.
tough, because obviously up top you've got Wilson and ASM. Well, to me, ASM may end up going if Newcastle manage to get some more purchase, because in the attack of, I think only Wilson is really someone who could stay. Wood is just too he's not good. He's not quality. And then you got Bruno at the back there. Oh, what a player! After not scoring at all with Lyon, and then suddenly he became a goal scoring machine. But again, you'd have to
He
see what.
actually come in January, right, man? So he could actually one of the January purchase.
Correct. Yeah, definitely he's instrumental. He didn't go immediately into the squad. Yeah, you need
Yep.
time to get him. But once he came in, he was brilliant, wasn't he? So another just quickly mention Brentford. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was wrong. I thought that Brentford was going to go all out and do
Yep.
well and celebrate
Yep.
as at home.
Yeah, in front of their fan.
Yes.
I'm a
Yeah,
bit disappointed.
but I guess Leeds had that desire more, and Rafinha and Harrison. But it'd be interesting to see whether will they be able to keep Rafinha, or will he be gone?
Yeah,
But
the rumors are Rafinha and maybe Kevin Phillips will move to a bigger club, and then I don't know how Leeds will look
yeah,
like.
so that will be, they'll need to get some good players in. They'll get Bamford back, so which is always good. So,
Okay.
but we'll see.
All right. Top players by position. I just compiled the top 5 for each position. I don't know whether you realize or not. The best goalkeeper is actually Ellison, scoring 176 points
Yeah,
in total. Okay, we can see Loris there, also Edison, the so-called premium keeper. Sa
yeah,
at 5 million, 146, and Fabianski at 136 point, and no Ramsdale there at
yeah,
4.5. I think number 6 is Ramsdale. We can see in terms of defense, man, TA is definitely the one with the highest point. Then Cancelo, second, just merely 7 points different. Robertson in third, okay, but dominated by Liverpool defense, okay. In midfield, Salah and Son neck to neck until the end, okay. Salah actually managed to get that goal, who secured he's the top player scoring in this season 21-2022. He's the highest. Then is Son, and then would you be surprised? Third top midfield is actually Bowen, and then in forward, there's no denial. Kane is the one. So what you make of this, man? Are you surprised with these points or?
Well, okay, so let's quickly on the goalkeeper side. Yeah, so Alisson and Edison both ended up with the Golden Glove. But I guess in terms of the person who most contributed to FPL plays, on this list, it will probably be Jose Sa of the Wolves. Yeah, so with his price, and there was at one point where Wolves were defensively very sound, and that's where I think Sa stepped up. The thing with Alisson and Edison not being highly picked is just because of their price. Yeah.
Definitely, we are not going to pick them also next season. I mean, we definitely will
I
find
don't
the
know.
4.5.
That's the thing. Should we still continue with this cheap, budget
Hmm.
goalkeeper, or should we just prompt for like some defensively solid teams, and so we don't have to worry about that, and then just look at others and get them consistently getting points. I don't know. So
maybe
defensive
maybe
wise,
because we never explored that kind of option,
mm,
right? We never. Even the season managers or the top managers are not looking at that also.
yeah, maybe I'll have a go. So on the defense, yeah, that's 4 out of 5 Liverpool defenders. It's insane, That arguably TAA and Cancelo were way and above at one point from other defenders, but the second half, their point generation dipped the second half of the season. Yeah, but they still ended up at top, so credit to them. Yeah, so Robertson came, was the closest to get near them. I'm surprised to see Van Dijk there. I can't recall him. I guess it was more case of bonus points for really being there when it mattered, and
I
he
don't
didn't
think he
really.
scored a lot of goals, right? I mean, I
No,
don't
no,
think
he
so.
didn't. Yeah, and but because those block shots leading to bonus points, for good defense. Midfield, yeah, having Bowen there, it's incredible, isn't it? I got to give credit to David Moyes, because we've known him to be a mediocre manager at best. Yet, yeah, but this season West Ham he's really transformed West Ham. It was incredible to watch. And speaking of West Ham, you go back to the forwards, and that Antonio still manages to make it into that top 5, even though he was really poor after a great start to the season, and then he
Yep,
just
yep,
started
yep.
tapering off. Remember his dancing with his own uh, pic-
Yeah.
own cut figure,
Yep.
just
Those are time I actually stuck with Antonio for a while because I believe in him until when I decided to move to others. It's been
so. So
a
if you
long time
remember,
ago.
Kane was doing really badly, but yeah, that second half of the season really stepped up once Conte really got the team going. Ronaldo, yeah, I would say it was a disappointing season for him and for I guess for Manchester United as well. I don't know with the
Pookie top three, yeah, forward, yeah.
yeah. So
That's
Timo
something
Pukki still
surprising.
manages to make it the top 3, but it feels like there's so many times when we don't have him, he scores, and then when we have him, he doesn't score. I mean, that seems to be the general feeling with Timo Pukki, unfortunately, and of course Tony, who was also at the top among the top goal scorers. So it'd be interesting to see Brentford next season now that with Ericsson having a full season.
Yep. Okay. This top players by position. I just snapshot players with higher points by week from game week 1 until game week 38. Okay. I just have a snapshot because maybe something that we can take from here. We
Mm.
can see there Sun actually appeared 3 times, scored highest in a week, which is in game week. Uh the first one is where. Okay, Sun, yeah, the 30, we can see 30 onwards, game 30, 32, and 35. Sun scored double
Goodness.
digit 15, 17. So he actually uh, outperform Salah in terms of highest point by the week, and the rest, Salah, KDB, Cancelo, even Bruno, James, Cash, and Madison twice. They managed to do this in this season. So what do you think, man? Do we have something that we can take away from here?
Um, okay, I'm just looking at that. Hang on. Didn't Salah score 24 points in game week 9 as well? I think he did, you know. We just yeah, because I think both Mount and Salah scored the same amount of points in
Okay,
game week.
could be. Yeah, could be.
So,
This somewhere I snapshot from actually summary of the players. Maybe some players are actually sharing the same point, but it's not appearing here. Yeah.
but never mind. I mean that's a small thing. But yeah, I mean you got to see how Son really stepped up to push Spurs into the Champions League. It's incredible, more so than Kane, and of course with a midfield points are more in terms of every goal scoring, keeping clean sheets. Yeah, once again the usual suspects: Salah, KDB, Cancelo, Fernandez, even still there. Fernandez who
The forgotten man, Bruno scored hat trick and 20 points game week 1, and then
KDB.
people, I don't know whether he can come back into fray next season. I don't
I
know.
don't know.
He's one of the
Yeah,
best players in year before.
that depends on Ten Hag, I guess. So James, surprisingly, he got twice there. Again, it was at the first half of the season. Cash appearing twice. It's
Yeah,
whenever.
we can see like Aston Villa also dominating these higher points by week also.
Yeah,
Aston Villa players.
but I
Uh,
gotta spotlight Madison. I think he's just getting. I think he's getting to be too good for Leicester. I feel. I wouldn't be surprised if it was trying to start, trying him to get him to move. Because at the same time, remember Vardy isn't getting any younger, and gosh, I don't know what Rogers' plan is,
yeah.
because Madison with his free kick taking ability as well. I mean, he could easily move to another club, I think.
Yep, I will definitely be wary of Leicester asset. Like teams also are looking at, clubs also are looking at like the likes of Tillemans, even Madison, or even Barnes, if they say they're interested to bring into the clubs. And Leicester, they will not have any Europe competition next season. Yes, I believe so. So they will have more space. They will be into situation like as Arsenal this year, who do not have any Arsenal competition. Sorry, Europe competition. Season stat just here. I just plug in from Fantasy Twitter. The best of 2021-22. The best point is definitely Salah, 265 points. Most goals, Salah and Son scored at 23 goals. The most assists, fantasy assists, yeah, is actually Bowen, 17. Okay, that's something that I didn't realize. Clean sheets, Van Dijk 21. Okay, so that's why Van Dijk scored a lot of points. Maybe some games he actually move out others than and get the clean sheet. If let's say Liverpool did not have clean sheet from the overall game, maybe I don't know. The most bonus point KDB with 33. Matip, the value in terms of he's been valued at 5 million and scored at 32. I think that's Matip for really under radar. Minutes played, the most 3420 actually divided by 90 minutes is actually 38 games. De Gea and Loris play every single minute. I did not know that. And in terms of price rise, Son and Cancelo has the highest 1.2 million.
So I start with that last one, the price rise thing. Yeah, Son, and Cancelo really stepping up. I actually thought that the highest price rise would belong to TAA. Yeah, but
Okay.
apparently now there's these two were even more. I think it was only 1 million, and that's 1.2, which is
What
crazy.
is Son price early season? Is it 10, 10, 5? I forgot.
I can't remember anymore.
Yep. So but he ended up like 11 million plus every season. Cancelo
Yeah.
also, is it 6.5?
No. Sun started at 10 or 10.1. Yeah,
10.
He started at 10. Yeah, so he finished at 11.2. Um, anyway, moving along the list, yeah, Matip, as you say, under the radar. He wasn't spectacular, but suddenly he started scoring goals and for at he he was the cheapest player amongst that back four like Liverpool lineup.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah.
so of course he would be under the radar and somehow but he stepped up and he's not going to be so cheap anymore come next season.
Yeah.
Um,
What's your prediction? Market price will be next season?
I don't know, definitely six, six
Six.
maybe.
Okay.
Maybe
Because
six.
Vanda is at 6.5
Yeah,
early season. Yeah.
yeah, but Matip might be 6.5 as well. Gosh. Um. Anyway, I'm going backwards. So bonus points, KDB. So again, this shows that even when KDB didn't play, and now when he did come in, he would more often than not run off with the bonus points. So it just shows once again that how central, how important KDB is for the Manchester City style of play. Yeah, and we definitely saw it towards the end of the season that he became more attacking back to his best. So
Right.
looking forward to him next season. Okay, I don't need to go about Salah. So Salah, he gets so many points at the start, but he could, if he was more consistent after the Africa Cup Nation, he could have gone on and done better. But
Yeah.
I don't know
Yep.
if there was the disappointment because of his club didn't win, his country didn't win the Africa Cup Nations, and then they didn't qualify for the World Cup. I don't know if that had an impact on him. Goals, yeah, because they both won the Golden Boot, but assists,
Yep.
Bowen, man, he's incredible.
I don't know
He's not.
how much price will he be next season.
Yeah,
Hmm.
he's definitely quality, and somehow
Yep.
he,
It could be 8 million. I don't know. Yep.
yeah. So yeah,
So I pull out a team of the season based on the position ranking and highest point just now. Ellison is the goalkeeper, the highest one. I put there. The four back line, three is from Liverpool, TAA, Vanda, and Robertson, and then Cancelo there. He's the most consistent players compared to last season from Man City. Okay, I put actually five midfielder because that is the top highest. I can not fit Ronaldo there because he's only scored 159. So Mane comes in. So Salah is the top one. Then Son. Then we have KDB, Bowen and KDB, and then Mane. And the top striker is definitely Kane. But definitely we cannot afford these players inside 100 million. But this is the team of the season, mate.
but this is an example of how um
It's
how
been
how
dominated by Liverpool player, that I can say.
yeah, but what I want to say is that how FPL were pretty much spot on in terms of pricing players. Yeah, so these most of these players are expensive, and look, they're all at the top. Um, so the only one who's up out of this list who I could argue has outperformed his price is Bowen, right?
Yep. Yep.
I
Yep.
think he's only a 6+. So and there he is sharing company with all these 10. Everyone, all the midfielders and Kane are all above 10. 10.
Yep. All premium. Yep.
Yeah, then suddenly you have Bowen there. So yeah, I mean,
Definitely, we cannot fit everyone in, so you need to sacrifice and pick the right premium that you want. Mm.
yeah. So and the other thing to say show here is that yeah, it doesn't. It seems that you can choose not to pick some of these premium players because there are enough alternatives for you to go. You just need to equalize and find the right people to equalize it.
Yep. So, who's your player of the season? Mean, the obvious one is Salah. But what do you think about Son and Bowen?
I would go for Bowen as player of the season for me. On the FPL wise, the
Yep.
only the only thing that prevented from Bowen from being picked more was because Bowen wasn't involved in as many double game weeks. Yeah, and hence because there were quite a few times he performed as a single game week player in during weeks where other teams had double game weeks. Yeah, so and then suddenly he scored two against Manchester City, in game week 36, was it, or game week
Yep.
37? Game week 37, and again that was a double game week, and but
Yep.
of course,
For the
West Ham
rest, not for
was
West Ham. Yep.
West Ham wasn't expected to, and then suddenly he scores a two against Manchester City. So
Yep.
it's just hilarious. And yeah, so I would go for Bowen actually.
Okay. I think I agree with you. I can't deny that Bowen should rate higher than is expected. And Bowen, with the price he has and how he actually performed like 200 points this season, think he should get that kind of award. I still remember, man, early season, Ben Rama is the one that actually performed, but after that faded away, and then Bowen take over to be the
Correct.
best player for West Ham.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, just touch a bit on who's actually win the Fantasy Premier League for this season. Is Jamie Pigott, okay, with 2,844 points, 400 points, 450 points more than us, man. Okay, it's a dream come true for him. He's actually a US citizen, and he's a Spurs fan. And this is actually I snapshot the last team sheet where he won um, over second place from India, and I think it's just not much different in terms of points. He managed with this team and captaining Son, the obvious one, and he still have some players from Liverpool like Mane, Matip there, final game, and to be fair, if you want to know in details how Jamie P got stats, you can follow Twitter FPL Architect, where I actually have a look how he dissect everything, and he shared in terms of his wildcarding, and he did not bring any Liverpool like Salah or KDB inside his team and bring in the like of Son and Kane. So that's where the difference that he made, and he actually jumped into first place.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the rankings. Yeah, he finished 12 points above the second place guy. So
Okay.
uh, even so he was leading as well before the last game from the looks of it. Yeah, but
Yep.
he captained Son, so he got the right player to captain in the um last game week. Yeah, so he got it right. Um,
Yep.
so
I
yeah,
think
I
that's
don't
the
know.
obvious one.
Yeah, so I don't know how his overall season went, but I can see in his screen he had Alonso on his bench, so a lot that means that he probably had Alonso on those weeks that Alonso was doing well, where all the other so he had the right Chelsea player, I guess, at the
Yep.
time. Yeah, because yeah, okay, so I'm looking, yeah, and in game week 37 he played a free hit and got 110 points, which is great, and the week before he bench boost and he got 201 points in game week 36. Captain KDB, like you.
Okay. Yep.
But
That's the obvious the
yeah,
highlight.
he had Nketiah, 15 points. Luis Diaz, 15 points. Son, 20 points. James, 13.
Is it
Matip,
medicine there?
Cancelo, 14. Sorry?
No, okay. I
No,
don't know
no,
whether he has. Okay.
no Madison. He had Mane, 9. So that bench boost at game week 36 really pushed him. Whew, that's incredible
Yep.
team. Yeah.
Yep.
So
So congrats to him. We definitely want to dream like him. Okay, to get first, but definitely is something that we can take off. We need to have a plan. Okay, and then
yeah.
not to overthink like he mentioned the last game week is still Captain Stan, who's the obvious one, and win the whole lot.
Yep.
Okay.
And what you mentioned just now that when he wildcarded, he didn't bring in any City or Liverpool
Yep.
players.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's something to think about because at the with City's rotation issues, and then you got Liverpool. I mean,
Yep.
but he needs to find the right alternative picks.
Yep. Sometimes we don't dare to do this kind of decision, but he makes it, and he makes a difference by winning this
Yeah,
FPL. Okay, man. Last but not least, a reflection of this season. I just quote these three questions that we can share. I share first, man. Okay. Highlight of the season, definitely. I remember where I captain KDB in game week 36. I got 60 points. Okay. That's something that I can remember for a while. Definitely captaining different from Salah, who actually a lot of managers captaining Salah. I go to KDB and I'm being awarded. My disappointment of the season, I can still remember game week 33 where I decided not bring in Bruno for Salah, and it cost me. Salah did score 19 points, so that is one of the disappointment that I can remember this season. It's a crucial decision I made, and it could be the other one. I remember game week 24, which I did not bring Coutinho, and Coutinho actually scored a lot of haul. So that's something that I can share. And the lesson learned, what I can take from this season is definitely, I should, I don't know, sometimes be more aggressive, but that's how I play. I am a bit conservative and patient. I can see a lot of season managers also take less hits. I did not see overall how much I take hits. I need to see later. And what maybe something that I could learn. But this is a different season, man. It's a special season where COVID is still around.
Yeah. I guess for me the highlights of the season were those all those all those weeks where I went against captaining a double game week and captaining a single game week player and doing well there. And I guess and I have to say one of the highlight of the season, which was more, it's probably not to other people, but for me because it corrected me in a way, was to realize that selling Salah was a mistake and bringing him
Okay.
back in week 9 and captaining immediately against Manchester United. So that was
Fact.
for me, really helped turn my season around, well, at least until game week 29. So the disappointment of the season, pretty much the run in, after game week 30, trusting in Chelsea to bring in a lot more points than they did. I didn't, and I guess that ties for underestimating Spurs. So I
Yep.
really, I just didn't think Spurs would have it to, had the right personnel to be able to be consistent enough to perform, and I guess I was wrong. In a way, that meant I underestimated Conte as well. So that's a lesson learned for me. Don't underestimate Conte. I guess you could argue. Lesson learned.
Yep.
Uh, Again, I feel that every season I learn this lesson and then still fail to learn it don't fail to apply it, which is, I think, taking too many hits.
I
But
know.
I think,
I actually quickly count. I actually took 44 points hits this season. Yeah,
okay,
it's a lot also.
I'll need to check on mine. But I do. But of course, when you think about it, the reason that, probably one of the reasons why we, I mean, not always the case, but one of the reasons that why we take hits is probably because we didn't properly plan in the first place. Because if we had properly planned, then we wouldn't have to take so many hits. We'd have, a
Yep.
bench that could we rely on, or players who are more consistent. Of course, you have to admit that there'll be times where you take hit because matches get suspended because of COVID issues. Excuse me, and other reasons. But I don't know. It just means that I need to plan better. Again, still my failing attribute is not planning enough. Yeah, and too many dark horse picks, maybe. Yeah. So I mean, I'm always a sucker for dark horse picks, but I think I need to still try to
Yep.
minimize it,
Sometimes.
minimize the
Yeah.
not having too
You're
many.
more inclined to do that kind of dark horse pick than me. But I tried your way also this season to have a feel whether, yeah, I should open up to this kind of thing, instead of go the logical one or maybe me. But something that I learned this season. From Zam, okay. Hi, how are you? One of his highlight is actually trip captain Salah. I suppose on game week 26 where he scored 80 plus points. So good for you. I think I also did that on game week 26. Most of the managers also wildcat that week. No, they did not manage to triple captain Salah that week. We do that, right, man?
Yeah.
Hmm. So also good. I've been talking to Azmin. Our chips played also different. in terms of wildcarding, free hitting. So it's definitely something that we can see. In the end, we are not that far off how we play our chips and then final ranking. So it doesn't really states whether my way or your way is right. In
Mm,
the end,
I,
we
I
should
agree.
compare.
Although, yeah, to be fair, it was, I did do badly towards the end, but I don't think it was the result of the chips. I do feel it was more of a result of having the wrong picks rather than chips. Yeah, I do feel that because we've seen that. I mean, um, I've seen other teams who employed the same strategy as I did in terms of when they wildcarded, when they
Yep.
bench boost and free hitted, and they ended up with a lot more points in that stretch compared to me. So it's just a case of wrong picks. We'll
So
see.
do you think if let's say we reflect back, managers are wildcarding in game week 36, right, to take advantage of the big double game week? Do
Yeah.
you feel? I don't know. Do you feel that could be the right call at that point and improve our season? I'm not too sure.
Excuse me. I still feel that's really risky simply because we saw a lot of rotation going on. Um,
Yep.
in game week 37 we saw Liverpool being rotated, as the Villa, Manchester City, of course, Chelsea, we saw rotation there. So it's tough. And I mean, if you wildcard in 36, that means you're intending to bench boost in 37, isn't it? Most of the time. And in a normal season, that is the case because
Yep.
you have the fillers in game week 37. But it just feels too late for me. And even when I game wildcarded in 34, I felt it's still a good, is the best, is was the
Yeah,
best time
yeah.
at
I
that.
still feel. Yep.
Yeah.
I feel so.
Yeah.
I wildcarded earlier, but it does not pay off, and then after that, I feel that game week 34 could be the right wildcard. But that is how I approach the game,
No,
and
it's
that's how it ends. Okay, man. For the last time, normally we say here when is the deadline will be, but this is actually where we want to say thank you for the support for the whole season. You guys have been joining our stream, and hopefully we see you guys again next season, which is like 2-3 months away, man.
Yeah, of course. I don't know with the so we for me and Hafiz, we probably need to plan a bit, see what we want, how we want to approach next season. Whether we want to start, having some videos before the start of the season, to as a build up is something we need to take a look at.
Yep.
But of course, yeah, I agree with Hafiz. Thank you so much, those of you who have joined us this season. This is a fledgling first time that we're doing this, as the two of us. If I did here and there, before this, but it was never consistent. Thanks to Hafiz, we've got a whole consistency going, something that I admit I have trouble with. So I've got Hafiz to really be that
Yep.
pillar
Yep.
to get things happening. So yeah, I think it's been great, and I learned a lot, obviously, and I do know that when we do make these videos, I end up reading a lot more. Although the results didn't turn out as I wanted, I wouldn't I wouldn't want I wouldn't say it's I wouldn't no regrets, because I feel that I still learn a lot, both in terms of streaming, in terms of FPL, in terms of of getting these
Yep.
videos. So yeah,
Yep. Yep. So we have actually evolved from the first episode that we live in August.
record,
Yep. I would like to
recorded.
say
We we started recording and then we went live.
Yep. So we evolved so much, man, and hopefully we can do better next season. There's plenty room of improvement. Would
Yeah.
like to say my special thanks to Afos. Along the season, he actually covered when myself or even has been not around. I don't know. Maybe next season we have more like I still remember we do three people in the stream. I think I'm not sure where game week. It's a different
It
and
was it was during the week off, and then
experience.
we got one of the best players, Malaysian players, Omar Azman, who was a
Yeah,
consistent.
yeah.
Yeah, and we
We
got
never know. Next season we can have a lot of more people on board during our show, and then we can exchange our opinion, because different people will definitely have different perspective.
Yep.
So that what I feel. Definitely, we can say, I mean, this first year we never thought that we can do this consistently. We had, I mean, and if we can see back at our Jedi show FPL channel, we can see YouTube channel more than 50 videos easily there. So we can still see some of our past recording, and to to have if let's say want to have some reflection, we can go back
Yeah.
and see those replays.
I feel for me, I feel it's incredible that we ended up from one video a week to two live streams a week.
I never thought of that.
Yeah, I didn't think we would end up going that way, but we did. And obviously, there's a lot of competition. There's a lot of good
Yep.
YouTubers out there, but
Yep.
we shouldn't stop if anyone who wants to do this thing, because it's something you like. And
It's definitely something that we enjoy, right, Min? So
yeah,
we already think of next season, and to me, before we end, we still have one more Premier League spot to confirm, which is actually this weekend, Huddersfield against Nottingham Forest, right?
yeah,
Okay,
that's right.
the playoff. There's something I'm looking forward to. At least have a sneak on who actually players that we can target next season from those two teams. If let's say,
Yep. So that'll be interesting. Um, but earlier that, well, not the night before is the Champions League final. So
yeah, yeah.
Liverpool versus Real Madrid. So that was probably the two last matches, football matches for England, for
Yeah,
those
yeah.
who's in England. So
Okay.
yeah,
All the best, man. In terms of Liverpool, and to you guys, okay. Thank you again for your support. Do hit the like button, and subscribe to our FPL Jedi show. Not soon any notification, because we will enjoy this break, man. Okay,
yeah, yeah,
and hopefully we come back stronger next season.
yeah. Both, yeah. So all the best. Bye.
All the best, everyone. Take care. Stay safe, and may the force be with you.
Always.